Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, y'all? This is SANKOFA Space, where we talk digital innovations in the Web3, NFT, blockchain, and all that good stuff, while we carry the traditions of SANKOFA, which translates into it's not taboo to go back and collect what you may have forgotten. Man, we've been doing this for several weeks now consistently, and I'm always excited of the amount of people that have been passing through these doors and connecting and building and showing their love and their expertise. It's been a real treat, especially hearing from people coming from the continent, especially Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, so many other places like Germany, the UK. We're talking about, Ohio and New York and all these different places, man, of people building and connecting. So we're just excited to continue that same energy in 2022. And this is exactly what we're doing. So for those who don't know, Stolen from Africa is a few things. It's a brand, for one, and it's also a nonprofit arts education organization here in Toronto. We focus on cultural and historical awareness of Africa and the African diaspora, and we use the arts, we use education to motivate and empower marginalized youth in the city and abroad. A lot of stuff we do are in schools virtually, so being in these virtual spaces is ain't nothing really new to us. And yeah, man, we're just going to continue expanding, connecting, uniting, and activating, man. That's a word I've been using a lot lately. So that's what we're doing here, man. SANKOFA Space, just continue to build with the people that right here on Twitter Spaces, man. So I want to big up Symbolik. What is going on, brother? How you doing?
Yo, man, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I'm good. Good to be here.
True indeed, man. True indeed, man. It's 2022. I mean, it's a new year in the what's it called, the Gregorian calendar, but a lot of us see March 21st as a new year, but we'll leave it at that. But we do follow this calendar, so we'll give you knowledge to that. So, but yo, man, we're here with new energy, new vibes, and we're just going to continue the legacy.
Yeah, man, we're in it. We're in the calendar. We're in the burgeoning Web3
all of that, man.
Time era.
Everything.
We've been in the digital era. Yeah, man. So
everything.
I mean,
yeah, man. I know that there's a few things that we really wanted to build on. I know that you had some ideas that will definitely explore. I know that you're talking about some things that are going on. Like, I'm really curious to have you expand more on like the Black body in the digital era, as well as the 3 points that you made, which was one, the Black bodies in digital era, two, the organizations partnering with the Black community versus positioning to compete, which I think is really interesting. And then the Umba, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Umba Daima. How do you pronounce that?
Umba Daima, yeah.
Okay.
Umba Daima.
There we go. Umba Daima, Black NFT art, and then the African NFT community. I'm curious to know what is happening in these spaces, and I really feel that like a lot of what we are building on definitely can connect back to the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, which has just passed over not too long ago, like last week. Which is like Ujamaa, which connects with unity and how success starts with unity of the family, community, nation, and race. And then we have Kushikalia, which is self-determination, to be responsible for ourselves, to create our own destiny. And then there's Ujamaa, which is collective work and responsibility to build and maintain your community together. And then we have Ujamaa, which is collective economics to build, maintain, and support our own stores, establishments, and other things. And then I lost my page here. And then we have Nia, which is purpose, to restore African diaspora peoples to their traditional greatness, to be responsible to those who came before us, our ancestors, and those who will follow, our descendants. And then we have Kumba, which is creativity, which is using creativity and imagination to make our communities better, and that better than what we inherited. And then we have Imani, which is faith, man, believing in our people, our family, our educators, our leaders, and the righteousness of the African people and their struggles. So I know that, like when the more I read this, the more I see it as just like a solid, solid pillars or solid virtues for us to like, really build upon. And I feel that this connects with some of the things that you spoke on and shared. But before we get into that, why don't you let the people them know about BlackLove DAO?
All right, absolutely, absolutely. I am stalling so that I can hit send on this, jump into this conversation with us moment, but I'm done stalling, so I'm ready to
That's
go.
what's up.
Let you know about BlackLove DAO. BlackLove DAO is an organization, a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization that exists to create safe and familiar places for Black people online. We draw from and integrate traditional African principles. Think about female-male balance, respect for our elders, respect for nature. That's all infused in what we do. We onboard African descendants. We provide learning opportunities like this one here and engagement with Web3, crypto tech, and other emerging technology. BlackLove DAO's aim is ultimately to promote, encourage, and incentivize the conception, creation, and dissemination of positive, creative Black art. We are Afrofuturistic.
Peace.
That's what's up.
Love that, man. The intro's getting more solid every time I hear it, yo. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. Yo, man. Got that radio voice going on too, man. So that's super peace. Yeah, man. Well, as people will be joining us shortly, I am sure. It was interesting, like, so before we get into like the 3 points that you mentioned, which I think is really cool, because 2022 for me represents also being like really intentional, and these are like definitely pillar conversations and things that we need to be building on. When it talks about like the digital era organizations, and just like the NFT community, like what all that could mean, like what are the opportunities that lie ahead. There was this meme that I saw, and it really kind of like gave perspective onto the transition of traditional companies and traditional ways of collaborating and organizing, as opposed to where the digital space is going. And it basically just broke down, we're familiar with terms like shares, companies, founders, stakeholders, and revenue, dividends, and things of that nature. But they were able to, parallel it with some of the new language and knowledge that's happening. So in this meme, I'll probably share it on our space later, but it says like, like NFTs like are pretty much like the new shares. Projects are companies, which I thought that was a really interesting look on that. Creators are founders, DAOs are management, collectors are shareholders, JPEGs equals stock certificate, royalties equal revenue, tokens are dividends, utility equals product, and community equals marketing. So that was like a really clear and tangible like way of looking at some of the new language that has been circulating, these spaces that we're in, and just to make things real tangible and clear, because we can really get lost in the language. So seeing this was like, okay, man, this is what I'm about, man. So I want to find more of these like ways of delivering like the knowledge that's in bite size that people can really connect and grab. So that's what's up on that piece. And so yeah, I guess like we can get into like some of the stuff that you would like to address. So let's start with like the first point that you mentioned in this.
Hold up. But here's the thing. Yeah, like let's like at that. Like though that makes it really clear and concise. But like, what does it mean is what comes to mind with the list. And I wish I had it like in front of me, but I did see that list. And absolutely, like that looking at, you know, the project, I would say that's like one, like there are overlaps in some of those things, but in basic sense, absolutely. But at the same time, you know, when we lock it down, I think that cultural perspective has a lot to do with how we value things, and so it's helping to move in the direction. But at the same time, I think that I don't know, like some of these things are really fluid. Like community is marketing. You know what I mean? Like that's a particular like true, but at the same time, I think boiling it down a little much to just leave it at that. It's like if you're from a business point of view looking at making a quote successful NFT, particularly generative or PFP project, then you slot these people in these roles to make it happen. So that's all. I just wanted to touch on it. And now the JPEG one. JPEG equals, was that receipt? Oh, that's interesting.
It said like the stock certificate.
The certificate.
That's
interesting because like the JPEG is actually a file that is you know, infused into the NFT and onto the blockchain. So I guess they're pointing to, people use the slang of JPEG, like they joke or they say like, oh, I made $10,000 for a JPEG. And I think that like it obfuscates, you know, confuses the real scenario when you say like, even though I think it's usually joking, it's not the JPEG truly, it's the community relationship. And yeah, like that's maybe how I boil that down. So maybe they mean the JPEG as in the NFT, but it's really,
well, the NFT and here is equals like shares, which does make sense because that's like the connection where you have like the creators, which identifies as founders. They create the NFTs, and then the NFTs is where like community can tap in and have their own stake in this endeavor, and then I kind of see like the JPEG is just kind of like a form of like when I think of like stock certificate, it's just kind of like a form of like declaration, of saying that yes, like this exists and here is like evidence of it, but it's not like the NFT. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. And by no means do I see these as like virtues. You know what I mean? This isn't like the Kwanzaa 7 principles. Like this is for me it's just like a starting point to make like abstract concepts tangible, which I think is very like crucial in this moment. And then obviously you're right, like there are overlaps where things can like interconnect and evolve. Like I mean, we may look at this like a couple months down the road and be like, okay, this is what it really is. But I think it's a beautiful starting point, and it has definitely helped me to understand like, okay, like this is how I can like infuse my energy into these things in a meaningful way, because it can be overwhelming if you're not in it like day to day. You know what I mean? Like yourself, like you're like well in it. Like me, I'm dabbling still, and I know that it's like it's a lot, but this has definitely helped to bring a bit of clarity on that. So
right, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I love it.
cool.
Anyways, I just want to skip through that because I thought it was a really informative post and thought provoking post, especially. Indeed. Yeah, then to peel it back and be like, okay, like who's really thinking in this way? Like this is for like the really business minded more than cultural minded, right? More than cultural minded. And I feel like our role is to make sure that's why I always say crypto and culture. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I mean, this could be something that we can, figure out like as a collaborative, with other people who have joined the SANKOFA space. We can like, remix this into like something that's, again, that has like culture at like the center, and, like Afrocentric or Afrofuturism elements that like I would love my brother Quentin Versetti, keep growing, where to jump back in, because like he has some really deep like profound insights, and like he's someone like that I would love to have like around the table to like kind of shift something. And I think this is an opportunity for us to do that, and that's exactly what these spaces are for. They're meant for us to bounce off ideas and just figure stuff out, like as we go. So so it's great. Like you said, it's totally thought provoking. And when I saw it, I just thought to put it out there. I put it up like in the Twitter space there, so it's there as a reference. But like let's continue to build on some of the things that have come up for you when you're talking about like Black body in the digital era. Like I'm really curious to know like what you mean. Like was there like an incident? Was there certain things that have come up and you're just like, nah, man, we got to address this, man. I see this, man. The colonizers are at it, yo. Like what's going on, bro?
You know what? It's funny because it's from what I know so far, it's not. There is a thing, and I'm going to tell you what the thing is. But sorry, I'm just making sure my Twitter's good to go. So there was an event by Super Rare last night on Discord. Okay. I don't know if you know Super Rare. They're one of the big early markets marketplaces for NFTs.
Gotcha.
And so there is a community organizer, white woman, I believe, or like presents as white.
White presenting, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then they had someone who is a Black person from Super Rare, and then they were cycling people through and talking about hiring a Black curator, and also about a Black calendar where they said her name's Ashani, I believe, if I'm not butchering it, but that their intention was to try to see if there's money to fund some things, but if understandably, if it's not for everyone, if there are things that you want to do, they're willing to do it. But if there was no funding, then that's like for you to make that decision as an artist, right? So that was stated in the space. And these things that I brought here, just to recap, the Black body I added, and cultural assets in the digital era, organizations partnering with Black community versus positioning to compete, and then Umba Daima, BlackNFTart, and African NFT Community. These are all kind of tied together. So the Black body, this is one thing and cultural assets, that's one thing that came up, because what happened was, after the fact, there's this blowback where people were basically saying that they were asking people to do stuff for free, and just some Black Twitter NFT, Black NFT Twitter kind of blow up. But meanwhile, that's not how I remembered it. And so I was like, well, I mean, they kind of are saying they want to do stuff and recognize Black things, and I understand that the guards go up. I'm also like, okay, like you want to deal with Black people. That's where this comes in. Like not that long ago, maybe a month ago, I posted something that came to mind, which was, if you are going to represent Black people, you should have a Black people on your team, Black people who have actual power and autonomy, or else it's basically like a puppet show. It doesn't come off appropriately, especially appropriately to history. And so that's the realm I was thinking of. But in that same conversation, and we're going to get to Umba Daima a little bit later, but Umba Daima said, you should be careful. Iris from Umba Daima, the co-founder, said, just be aware not to move into a space that Black people have been building and then end up being competition. And that exchange was taken respectfully. So I feel it was a respectful conversation. I think we are also on high alert, and rightfully so. So that's what I kind of wanted to dig in, because I was curious about, your thoughts. Like, so let's say some company that is not necessarily a Black company. I was even thinking of like, oh, like the city of Toronto wants to partner with Stolen from Africa. Like, we don't just say bund them down just because they're not a Black organization. You say, okay, here's how we can operate respectfully and mutually beneficially. Um, you know, that's some of the stuff that came to mind. You know what I'm saying?
Got you, got you, and that's a perfect analogy, because Stolen from Africa, we do have a partnership with the city of Toronto. We actually have like two projects right now on the go. Like, one is to support our collaborations and building with the Manifesto Festival and some of their community initiatives, and then we have another one which is a program for like it's like a violence prevention program, so supporting youth in the downtown core, like, around Regent Park, Bleecker, and so on and so forth. But you're right, though, like, like, when we put our proposals in and had the understanding of like what this collaboration looks like, like, we still have our integrity. We're not compromising or bending anything that we're about. Like, you see the name Stolen from Africa, like there, it is what it is. Like, this is who we are, and that's respected and acknowledged and valued for like the contributions and the work that we do. So that is very important and integral, especially when it comes to like, serving our own people. So I like what you mentioned about, them wanting to like, support the community, but then not, it's like they don't have any kind of like actual representation on their team. So it becomes this like puppet show. And it's like, come on, man, like that's so like, like we've seen that multiple times, and yeah, and we know who the creators are. Like, right now, this is our time to shine. Like, I see Africa shining, beaming hard, and everybody knows it. And I can see how people will be a little fearful,
Right.
and but I'm glad that we're stepping up and we're addressing, and more, and again, more than ever, I'm really intrigued or interested about creating our own spaces. Like, that's why that's so important. That's why when I looked back at the seven principles of Kwanzaa and what they represent, like, I want to see that, like, in I want to see those virtues in place, like, within this crypto NFT blockchain space as well, because everything that the seven principles, like, break down, it's like these are things that we always have to keep in mind, because if we can keep those seven principles in mind, I think that would eliminate like more than like 70% of like our concern, maybe even more.
Mm, mm. Quick interlude. I'll talk to it after, but I found a Black social media. Anyways, keep going.
Well, big up to everyone who's just joining us right now, man. It's SANKOFA Space, man. We do this every Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Where we just connect the African diaspora and artists and people who are doing things in this digital space, Web3, NFT, blockchain, all that good stuff. We get people from all over the globe, really, man. It's been really a fascinating place, and we're just talking about just getting more clarity on how we can like just move forward, and how we can like prevent some of these like historic mistakes that just keep reinventing themselves and showing their face. Like, we tired of it, and it's not going to be happening now, man. You know what I mean? So that being
Yo,
said, why don't you pass it over to what's that, Mo Money? What's going on? Like, you're added as a speaker. Please let us know where you're calling in from, a little bit about yourself, and yeah, man, appreciate you being part of here.
Yes, what's up? What's up? Thanks for having me. I follow Symbolik and I'm in one of the Discord chats that he leads. So I'm happy I finally got to catch a Twitter Spaces and definitely wanted to hop in here. I love what you guys are talking about, especially with the topic that you have pinned. One of the things that I do, I'm an NFT artist myself, but I also teach like intro to crypto with my husband, where we kind of do one-on-one sessions to open up people's eyes as to what's really happening in the economy, the fourth industrial revolution, globalization, and like really what's happening in the world, so that you can start making educated decisions and plans and stuff like that. So I'm in the space now as an NFT artist, where I actually focus on transforming physical creations to digital assets. So one of the ways I mainly do that is with my tie-dye t-shirts. I'm into clothes, so I make tie-dye t-shirts, and then out of the t-shirt, I actually make patterns. I'm a DAO member of the Global Designer Network, and we are trying to like create this open source library for basically everyone who's going to be coming in the fashion industry after us to kind of undercut these, copyright cartels that have everything locked up per se. So that's what I do in this space. I really like, again, the post that you guys have pinned here about how you can use the blockchain and all these tools being built on the blockchain in your regular business. And that's, again, one of the things I really emphasize and teach people. So I think that, again, having these kind of spaces, especially for our people, is really important. Because I know when I first came into NFTs, I was all like, oh, it's globalization. Color doesn't matter. Like, cause I'm here in the US. So, we're Black in the US. But I'm like, I don't want to be sounding naive, when I'm talking to other people in other countries. And it's like, everyone has some type of ethnicity or color and, some type of political correctness or not correctness or whatever it comes down to. And I'm so not politically correct. So I'm like, you know what? Enter in this space. I don't want it to be about color. You just meet the same people that share your same values. But it's so crazy. I actually just seen a post today that they had shared. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. So somebody has shared and it said, let's turn NFT into a racial slur against Black people. I think we should do this because of the following. NFT starts with the letter N. NFTs are commonly associated with monkeys. Most NFT memes involve a monkey of some kind, and a lot of NFTs are just monkey drawings. Black people used to be traded as property. And finally, and most importantly, it would make all of the people trying to get rich off of this shit, especially celebrities and influencers, really, really fucking mad. And then they're like, let's do it. So seeing
Wow.
these, right? And it's like you see stuff like that, and it just reminds you, like, no, us as Black people, this is our chance to get it right and come together as a real ecosystem and as a real collective, and finally, come together like we haven't successfully many, many times, and start, having a voice against these things. And not even because I think Black people have, we kind of let it go because it's like, who wants to have a voice against those things because they just sound, dumb, and we just move on and carry on what we have going on anyways. So that's fine and dandy for us, especially if we just continue to come together at least and continue to uplift each other. So I really like how Symbolik is all about that, especially when it comes to bringing all of the people of color together and sharing and creating these spaces. So I'm mostly just listening, but definitely want to hop in and kind of spiel and say that this is awesome and love what you guys are doing.
Yo, that's super blessed, man. I just love everything that you mentioned. Very intriguing, about like the t-shirts and making that into like digital like assets. With Stolen from Africa, we have like our clothing and our brand, and we do all kinds of digital media. You can check out our website, stolenfromafrica.com, for other stuff. But yeah, like I'm definitely going to follow back and reach out to you and connect, because I'm really intrigued with all that and everything you said. Like, it was actually Symbolik that first of all, I want to big up Symbolik too, because like he's just a trailblazer when it comes to like connecting all these cool people, man. Like, some cool ass people, bringing to the table. So big up to you for doing that, man. But he was the first
Cool.
one who really
Like Logik, yo. I'm just saying,
yeah, well, that's steel sharpens steel, man. That's why we mesh really well together. But yo, like he was the first one who really brought to my attention about this whole like monkey like ape culture within NFTs, and I'm like, I don't know, like I'm like, I don't know, like I guess, but he was like, I don't know, man. There's just something that just doesn't sit right in my spirit, like like that, like true like Caribbean vibe, like my grandmother would say, man, something not right, something not right, and the way how you're describing it, I'm like, yo, man, there is some serious like parallels, and I think it is important to address and just to be reminded of that, and also too, like while we're like moving in these like diversified spaces, yes, like I'm still black though. You know what I mean? I still identify as like a black Canadian. I still identify as Jamaican. I still identify as African. And these are all important pillars to me. And that's not going to go anywhere. But it doesn't mean that we have to be just limited to that. But we do have to like stand on our square as well. Because like you mentioned, other spaces, you know, they have that. But for us, this is what makes us like so unique because, you know, that's our like black is a unifying term, you know, like some people have their issues with the word or whatever, but that's like a unifying term that just like overarches and just knows that okay, we're all coming from the same place regardless of our like diversity and regardless of our geographical location. So but I think like like this is really exciting, and I appreciate everything that you mentioned there. Really powerful and intriguing, and I'm gonna do some more research, you know, to get more
If
tuned in, yo.
if I
Go
could,
ahead, bro.
yeah, like so that whole discussion touches that first topic, like the black body cultural assets in this digital era, and you know that's where really us being together and united and sharing ideas. When I saw, for example, the apes everywhere, I was like, I don't know. And then you just, you know, you hear more about it and you look at the culture and look at the details, like some of like so that they look like streetwear. I still would go to say it's not universally. I would say it's a symbol of let's say either blackness or trying to make that statement. But I'm at very least some of those collectors are like laughing at black folks. I grew up like this. I grew up in Toronto, Canada, and I heard people making those references to monkeys, apes, baboons, and so forth. So I'm like, you can't just ignore it. And then the other thing is, I think that just the image alone, like I was mentioning, a Twitter post that I had made a while ago, about a month ago, about like people will draw someone and then sell that image, and it's like, and it's I think we have to check that and be like, what are you about? And not necessarily in the angry burn it down way, but like you need to understand. And a lot of black people are like, it's not my job, and I get that. And I think it's also going to be some people's jobs to burn it down, and we can still be friends. That's how I see it. I know black people that just don't like white people, and I'm like, I get it. I'm not gonna walk around my life angry, that angry, but that's where I see like different people have different energy, and you know, we got to pull it together. Regardless, we need to be together, and then say, okay, like, you know, now it's time to act on this, that, or the other, and basic rules, because they will take your image, sell it, make money, treat us, as I say, like nature. And I think we're in good company if we're being treated like nature, but this whole thing has to shift. And crypto is still built on economy. Its first use case was you know, cryptocurrency. So I think it's something to be aware of, wary of, as much as I'm in here all the time, and to see how we can have an impact on making things more balanced. Because I think we're in an era of rebalancing. You know, the female energy is coming back, being recognized and appreciated culturally. Black people, indigenous people. To some degree, there are going to be people who are just like, they want to talk the talk, and really they just want the same system to run. But clearly, we have to see a different light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, that's the realm of stuff that I did want to talk with you, Logik, as well as everybody in the house. Yo, we got young Denzel in the house. Is that what? I saw that Koss jumped back in, probably had some network issues, but you're on stage. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I need to hear from y'all.
Yeah, we got some new friends also, man. Yo, shout out to Sir Thelonious. I hope I pronounced that correct as well. So yeah, man. Well, why don't you just jump in real quick, brother? Let us know where you're calling in from. Maybe a little bit about yourself, things you're into, and I don't know, like maybe if there's anything part of our conversation that resonates, man, that you want to add on, please let us know.
Yeah, peace. Nah, I appreciate y'all having me. Yeah, you definitely said it right. So Thelonious, as in Thelonious Monk. I'm a MC. I'm an all-around artist, MC, singer, um, graphic designer, photographer. I do a lot of things from Jersey, North New Jersey specifically. And yeah, I just saw SANKOFA, so that word alone definitely just made me come to this space to see what's going on. I'm very, very, very new to the NFT world. My brother Maroof got me into this a couple of days ago, and he just told me that I would be very successful here. And also, one reason why I left Twitter some years ago, and I'm renewed in Twitter, is because social media shifted to a point where you have those connections that you make. And they used to be like authentic back in the day when things were kind of like starting off, even with like AIM, Black Planet, MySpace back in the day. But it just shifted into a loss of individuality, a loss of symbolism. No pun intended, symbolic. Just of people who didn't really know who they were anymore, afraid to talk, not really engaging with people for the right purposes, because it's all about building a network and building a community. So my brother Maroof and I had a conversation 2 days ago, um, about that. And he said, listen, come back to Twitter, join spaces, speak. People going to want to hear you speak, listen to what's going on, just see if you can get down with it. Definitely put your music, your art on these sites, create these accounts. And as I'm still learning, I haven't minted yet. I look to do so within the next few days. But yeah, I'm just here collecting the vibes, looking to build with all of you guys. I definitely followed of a few of you already, and I will follow back those who have followed me as I've been talking. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Hey, I wanted to
Salute.
ask, do you know Umba Daima well, on the Umba Daima Discord or Black NFT Art, um, Twitter, or African NFT Community? Do you follow those?
I just so I was in a space earlier with Black Art NFT, and that was my second time there. So that's definitely like a home for me. So yeah, I'm only following that so far.
Okay, because as you say, follow African NFT Community, because it's like fluid communities where they'll share resources and people, and it's the vibe is overarching. And yeah, and if you get into the Umba Daima Discord, that'll be dope too, because they've got from collectors to the Black NFT Art channel. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure you're tapped in there, because I always say that Black NFT Art and African NFT Art changed the internet for me. A friend of mine, Colombian dude. He's like, he knows what I'm about. He sends me this link. Next thing, I'm like, oh, I could use Twitter. Like before that, I was like, why? What's the purpose? Like you cut me off at this amount of characters. You just have all kinds of noise. All of a sudden, I was just exposed to beautiful art. Not everyone's going to be all political and stuff like that, and I think that's just fine. Like we were saying, everyone has their lanes, but then you will find people who, like myself, and when I'm doing hip hop and so forth, I'm usually putting these cultural and these Black people building messages. I'm like, so those people are going to be there inevitably as well. So yeah, when you tap in there, it's a good start.
Definitely, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just followed uh, African Art NFT.
Right.
I just followed that. Could you sit? So I am also multitasking right now. I'm rocking my beautiful 3-month-old daughter at the same time. Could you DM me if possible the Discord that you were mentioning?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just wondering. Let's see. I'll shoot you a message right now, and then we'll like do the details after.
That sounds good. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Word. Hey yo, brother, big up to you on your 3 month old, man. Like I got two kids myself. I mean, they're a little older. I got like a 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, but I definitely enjoy those infant stages, man. So big up to you. Salute Black fathers, yo. That's what's up, man. Big up.
Oh, indeed, I appreciate it. Yeah, her name is Zaria. So I'm in the year of the
Sorry.
threes. So I have a 3-year-old son. I have a 3-month old daughter. I'll be 33 this year.
Come
So I'm
on,
really in my divine time, angel time. Yeah,
man.
me. I'm in that time right now.
Bro, man, I can go off on numerology, specifically like the numbers 333, but I'm pretty sure you're already in tune, so I won't even get into
Indeed.
that. I won't even get into that too deep right now, man. But God bless you, man. Big up to you. Yo, let's hear from some more friends. We got young Denzel in the house. What's going on, brother?
Welcome back,
Hey,
young.
hey guys, how you guys doing?
I'm good now that I'm hearing your voice too, and everybody in the house.
Yo, guys, thank you so much for having me in this space, man. It's good to be back.
Word, what you been up to, and where do you live?
Right now I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Word up.
Let's see. I've been up to doing some 3D art commissions and door dashing, trying to pay my rent.
Gotta do it. Gotta pay that rent.
Yes, sir.
Word. So you were saying you were doing some commissions. What's that like? What kind of projects?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm doing a PFP collection of like strippers for a person's NFT project, like 3D strippers that I can move and all that stuff. So I was doing that, and then I had another one for like a spaceship scene where somebody's like flying through space with their friend. And so I've been working on those and trying to stay healthy and whatnot. Been really sober.
Excellent. Excellent.
Congratulations, man. Like, when I hear the words like sober, I know that that's, not necessarily like an easy task for a lot of people, but it takes a lot of discipline. But salute to you for, putting like health and all that stuff that you need to push forward, first, because I know that's not easy. And I think it's a very like revolutionary act, like breaking habits and whatnot. So big up to you for making that change.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
True indeed, man. So I don't know, Symbolik, if you want to, I guess, kind of like, as you say, reset the room and just, go through some of the topics that we address, man, because like it's been really powerful, man. But I don't know if you want to go through that again and see if anybody else would like to add on.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to shout out Dark Mitch, aka Kwame #1, who's in the audience. I'd love to hear your voice as well. Sir Thelonious, jump back to listening. Big up to everyone, anyways. And we just wanted to talk, of course. Well, I shouldn't say of course. We started with the Kwanzaa in mind. It's been resonating over since Kwanzaa, and we realized Logik pointed out something really true and important is we should be remembering these principles year round. And so we kind of framed this around that, as well as things that have been going on recently in terms of representation, relationship with Black community, how we're feeling, what the temperature's like. And so the topic, the first one was the Black body and cultural assets in the digital era. And around that one, I was really thinking about, yes, those relationships and how we're dealt with potentially, but also the fact, sometimes people are a little bit, let's say, I don't want to say on edge, but are looking hard for the disrespect. And so something happened recently, a super rare event. I thought it was super respectful, but stuff still blew up. And I feel it's understandable that people are concerned. And even, I think, maybe even if it's beyond, what I would say, anything that was wrong took place, I'm still glad that our people are watching. Another one is with the representations of Black people in NFTs, whether it's on projects and so forth. I just feel like we need to be able to, we need to be there behind things that are representing us. And so that's where that one came about. The second topic that I wanted to talk about was organizations. This tied more to the super rare organizations partnering with Black community versus positioning to compete. And that was based on Iris from Umba Daima actually mentioned that in the super rare event. And I thought it was a very, that is a good approach. If we're to be respectful, if people are to engage, then be aware that if you just come in and replicate what they're doing and not even just exclude, if they're not actually building and supporting Black people and community, then it's not the right look. And the last one I wanted to talk about was Umba Daima, and it ties into the last one in that Iris, the co-founder of Umba Daima, is one who made that point. And Black NFT as well as African NFT, as I mentioned earlier, changed the internet for me. Before that, and I heard accounts from many other people on Twitter Spaces, on Clubhouse, about wanting to get into NFTs or even jumping on social media, and the whole vibe isn't right. And when you find a place where the vibe is right, we can flourish. And I would say this room stems off from that. Like Kwame number one, Dark Myths. Like I was going in those spaces with Dark Myths as well as with Vintage Mozart, and being like, wow, I'm in an NFT space and it doesn't feel like a used car auction. It's just a nice vibe. And so that's why I wanted to kind of bring that one in that there are these spaces. And I think that it's just so important for us to, squat up, support, and then collectively come to a determination as to what we want to do. Like if we're scattered and we don't have that unity, to go back to the Kwanzaa principles, then we are not going to be able to build, and people will continue to exploit us, as was the case in Web 2, as was the case before Web, as was the case for a while now. So yeah, that's my quick reset. Not that quick reset.
Yeah, no. Like there's definitely a lot, and it's a lot of fruitful conversations and dialogues happening, and I appreciate everyone bringing all these things to my attention, and just because I think like what happens historically is like we get like excited and guarded in the beginning of things, and then we kind of get complacent and cozy and comfortable. But I think like we should always kind of like reset the room and really double check, triple check, and really just ask like the right questions, do like periodic check-ins to make sure that things are aligned with integrity and are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I appreciate this, and yeah, man, I'm just excited to learn from you all. I don't know if anybody else would like to add on. I'm going to invite some more people on to speak, because we like to diversify the voices, and so far this conversation has been pretty fruitful. What is going on, Kristen, X or OX Black? Big up for coming through. Please let us know where you're calling in from, and a bit about yourself, and maybe if there's anything that we spoke on that resonates with you that you may have some insights or perspectives on. Please let us know,
and let us know where you're calling from.
That's right.
Sure thing. I'm thankful. Thank you for bringing me up. I'm from calling from Salisbury, Maryland right now. I'm here to listen and to learn and to contribute what I can. And I'm a new artist in the space. I'm a new creator in the space, and I'm just basically seeing where I fit into all of this. I want to contribute the best of my abilities and of who I am individually as an essence. And yeah, basically just letting it flow, letting it flow as well as it can, and realizing all of the possibilities that come with NFTs, that come with this entire digital revolution. I'm a very spiritual person naturally, which is a big reason why I joined this space, because it says SANKOFA space. So when it comes to spirituality and getting back to our roots, I find that to be incredibly important, and not only important, but like the purpose of why we are here. And my life partner, Indigo Blackbird, and I have come together, and it's just been like words can't really hold what this relationship, this rekindling means to me. And we offer spiritual services through our I guess company, but it's more of like an entity called Earth Heart, and we're doing what we can in the space. We have a lot of goals in the future, but it's just the means of like writing them down and getting them in the physical before they go into the digital, if you get what I mean.
100%. Yo, big up to you for everything that you're doing. It's right, aligned, and divine with everything that we're building. I'm a very spiritual person. Like, creating Stolen from Africa was all about being rooted in the traditions of SANKOFA, and really to really just deepen our roots, and collect what we may have forgotten, because really what it's all about, and to understand that these roots, we're never, I mean, they're severed in a certain way, in a physical way or whatnot, for us who are like in North America and have gone through like, that narrative, but there's ways that we have been connecting back like spiritually. And a major theme that has been coming up a lot, which kind of speaks to the work that you're doing, is healing. Like that's really like the essence of what we're doing and why we do what we do. To really speak our truths and to like make sure our stories are told. So many times like our stories have been told by other voices and cultures and whatnot, and now it's our time to like really own that. And I love how you mentioned like you saw the SANKOFA, it's like the bat signal, you feel me? Like, you throw it up there and people just come through on some like, yo, and I just love like how many people have said that, because like it just reaffirms like our intentions, and we're really intentional with the energy that we're putting out, really to be authentic, aligned in integrity and rooted in our foundation. So respect for coming through and sharing space with us. We appreciate you. I'm going to add some more people because I would love to hear just different voices, and I love the fact that we get people from different spaces and places. Myself and Symbolik, we're out here in Toronto, Canada. People know Toronto for like Drake, but we got Drake in the Weekend and Tory Lanez and all that. But there's a lot more happening out here, believe me, and we're here to show you the other side. You feel me? So on that note, I'm gonna pass it over to. I don't know if you wanted to say something Symbolik, but I was gonna pass it over to Aya.
Yeah, quick fast.
Yeah.
One, there was hip hop before Drake. No shade, just fact. And I think what oh, was it? Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Christian? Is it Christian? What
Yep.
Christian was?
Christian.
Okay, great. Christian, yeah. I thank you, because I think that's the rebalancing that that has become apparent to me, and the work that you're doing, and as Logik said, healing, and we would be building the same thing if those energies are not there. So I just want to emphasize how much I appreciate and respect what you're doing, and I think it is that missing ingredient. Like, just as women being present is that missing ingredient, Black people, Indigenous, and looking at healing. So, because remember, like one generation ago, building all these companies, think of the vibe behind it. So for us to have that vibe, your vibe, in what's happening now, I just want to just give you a fist bump and enough respects. That's all I wanted to say.
Peace, man. All right, so let's pass it over to Aya, or is it Aya? Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm terrible at butchering people's names, but please correct me if I'm incorrect. And please let us know where you're calling in from, and maybe a bit about yourself. And then, if there's anything that has like resonated with you in the conversation, you can definitely add on as well.
Vibes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aya. I'm a Farai from Tobago, currently living in Toronto, Canada. I'm a mason and a horticulturalist by trade. I design, I build, I make music. Right now, I am teaching myself, I guess, studying, learning game theory, so I'm able to speculate on my designs. I make NFTs. I've been in this Web3 space for a little bit. Right now, my project that I'm working on is I'm making a magazine. It started because I am a builder. It started off just it making sense instead of having flyers, and then just like plugging all my peoples in. Interviewing people who are doing the work, connecting with land stewards all over the world, because, I grew for many, many seasons, and I'm very passionate about seeds and seed keeping and connecting with, people. What else? Yeah, I think if you have any kind of art, any kind of music you want to review, I would love to feature it in my magazine. Um, I think a lot of people are doing a lot of web-based things, but it's also important to, have physical things as well. Because I do believe the real revolution is in on the shelf, where, you know, as us as Black people, we pass a lot of things on through orature, and for us to be able to quote each other in academic spaces and to be seen in academic spaces, we need to be on the shelves as well.
Peace. Yo, respect for the work that you're doing, and another, fellow Torontonian. I love that, because it's beautiful that we've been getting like a lot of like international love, but it's also cool to see peoples that are right in our own backyard. Man, I see my brother keep growing, man. Mr. Quentin Vassetti, Mr. Sankophanology himself. I'm trying to see if like he can come up real quick to just add on some of his 2 cents, because when you talk about like academia and being on the shelves, like this brother right here is like really killing it in many spaces, whether it's like, the Art Gallery of Ontario and, other like universities, whether it's in Toronto, Montreal, and what have you. Brother is really killing it, but it seems like he might be in a space where he can't talk, because I know that he would jump in without a doubt. So big up to him for being here regardless. But yes, Aya, go ahead, jump back in. I see your hand up.
Yo, I was just gonna say that's crazy. I know Q and I haven't seen him in a hot minute, but I've been seeing all the work he's doing, and it's inspiring. Yeah.
Okay, yo, man,
Yo,
whew,
give thanks for the space.
that's what's up, man. Well, to be very real with you, man, like SANKOFA is something that Q has been like talking from time, and it's one of those things that I've always known and heard about, but it didn't hit me in my soul till like recently. And I'm like, man, all this time I've been doing Stolen from Africa. I've been doing, creating Stolen from Africa since like 2004. And it's like just now I'm making the SANKOFA connection. Like it seems kind of obvious, but it's just now, you know what I mean? But it goes to show that, nothing happens before its time. And now I'm just like, yo, I'm like hitting up Q. I'm like, yo, SANKOFA is the thing, yo, it's the thing. And he's like, bro, like, I've been on this wave. So like, shout out Q for, really being like an Afrofuturist. Like, he is that guy, like, on many levels. Now like Afrofuturism is becoming a common language in Toronto and around the place, but he just comes through and just be like, So shout out my brother, man. You know what I mean? That's the OG SFA fam right there, man. I known Q since he had a fade, you feel me? So we go way back, yo. But yo, we're coming back. We're coming to like the end of our session. This was a really lively conversation. I'm going to be uploading these chats on the Stolen from Africa what do you call it, like podcast platform, which is on like Spotify and Amazon Music and whatnot. So if you just go on Spotify and just type in Stolen from Africa under podcasts, you'll see some like selected audio recordings from our various podcasts that we have, because we have the SANKOFA space. We also have You Good Fam on IG, and then we have the Reminisce Show, which is about like Toronto hip hop history and just hip hop in general and the foundations and whatnot. But yeah, man, that's what's up. I don't know, Symbolik, man, if you have any like closing words for now, man. Yo, this was like, spiritual food right here, yo.
Real. No, I just wanted to say one word on SANKOFA and the Adinkra symbols that occurred to me years ago when an elder was teaching me about some of these things. And what it was is that these symbols were considered to be rudimentary and backwards and all these things. And this is pre Windows and Mac and all that. And what I realized was that when Mac and Windows, in order to get people to be able to use these computers, we started to put things, have things like folders and iconography, symbols, and they are actually advanced, and they've been advanced since we've been using them for hundreds, if not thousands, or certainly thousands, I should say. We go back to Kemet and the hieroglyphics, the Necher. So I just would say we should just make sure to value who we are, value our neighbors, our family, what we do, value our artwork, and don't let someone else place the value, because they want to place a low value so that they can take advantage. So yeah, man, just enough love. Glad to be here. I'm done speaking.
All right. Well, looks like Q now has like speaking privileges. I want to let the brother just kind of sign us out though, but I definitely want him to add on and maybe share a bit about some of the works that he's doing. I know he has some stuff coming down the pipeline, but I just want to pass it over to my brother Q. Let him add on.
Much respect. And it's true, yo. You knew the man then when he had like a fade thing going. That's kind of crazy. But blessings, everyone. Yeah, one thing I want to add on in terms of SANKOFA and to bring everything like a full cycle, full cipher is when I was in Ghana, they were telling me, the blacksmith was telling me, like, families used to pay to have very specific Adinkra symbols, which is what the SANKOFA symbol is a part of. It's a system of families of icons and iconographies, similar to hieroglyphics. But families used to pay to have their family clan or the family tribe or the family name associated with a very specific symbol within the Adinkra family system, and when people see you wearing that, or when they see a house be adorned on the fences, on the doors with that Adinkra symbol, they recognize your own value system, and they recognize also that you're a person of value. And so it's really interesting now how we're in a stage and age where now we're using, crypto art and NFTs to determine a person's value, and it's kind of full cycle in a lot of ways of how icons and images helps us to understand value. When you think about the dollar sign, when you think about, the pound sign, all these different symbols, and a lot of that ideas and concepts comes back to Africa, and so it's really dope that we have this space to learn how we can again cultivate a space of value and sharing value and reinstate our own values for ourselves, because that's really what it's about. SANKOFA is realizing how we came from value and how we can create value and how we can spread value. And so big ups to you and big ups to everyone who is, sharing more value.
Ashe, yo, like this is the vibe right now, and that's a beautiful way to like close today's session, which was super powerful. Like I said, I'm gonna like upload like these sessions, like this one and the last one, up on like the streaming platforms, for your podcast listening pleasure, because these are all gems, and we're gonna continue to create these spaces and conversations and just build, man. It's a really exciting time, and I just love like the international community and connection and how everyone's so willing and open to build, collaborate, support, connect, activate, like all of that, yo. So big up to everyone, and we're gonna leave y'all like that, man. Symbolik, man. You got any last words or anything else you want to add on to?
Enough love, enough respect. Peace.
All right, man. And we out like that, man. See y'all next week, 3:30 p.m. every Thursday, man, Eastern time. All right, y'all. Be blessed.
Peace.